What's up, church media pros? Today I want to talk video microphones in 2022. Let's go. Welcome back to Church Media Pro. My name is Aaron Warden. On this channel we talk about all things church media production and advertising, and today I want to talk about video microphones in 2022. Now, not a lot has changed honestly in the last about 10 years, so this could go for this could have been a video that I shot almost 10 years ago. However, these things have stacked up and we've had a lot of time to battle test them. So let's get on into it. All these links are going to be either an Amazon or B&H Photo. If you want to support this channel, guys, click on these links, and then next time you need to buy something on Amazon, because I do get a little bit of kickback. Doesn't mean you have to buy the item that I'm offering up as a recommendation. But if you use my affiliate links in the description, guys, and then go buy something else, I will get a little bit of commission, and that will help me dramatically to keep this content coming on a weekly basis. So here we go, guys. Today we want to start with the Videomic Pro from Rode. Rode is the most ubiquitous video mic. These mics have been around since the advent of the DSLR video revolution. So if you haven't been around since, mid-20s or mid-2000s in the video production world, this is probably not news to you. Well, or it might be news to you rather. But these have been around for quite a bit of time, and I started with these, not quite the same model as this. I mean, it was called a video mic from Rode, and it sits on your camera. The old ones had a much more beefy shock mount, but they've almost always come with a 9-volt battery internally and an on-off switch. And I've got mine right here, guys. I can show you on my screen here, or get it off my screen. So this is the Videomic Pro on the back. It's got an on-off switch, and it's pretty awesome. It's exactly what I use today. Now, some people will recommend this guy here. This is the Video Micro, and this is fantastic. Actually, I just purchased one of these for a podcast that I do with my pastor. And the great thing about this one is you don't have to charge the battery or change the battery, because there isn't a battery. That one is dynamic, and it gets all the power it needs from whatever camera you plug it into. In fact, it's just like the difference between a dynamic mic and a condenser mic on your stage. So if you plug in an SM58 on your stage, it doesn't need phantom power, right? But if you plug in a Beta 87, it needs phantom power. So that's the difference between condenser and a dynamic mic. And this here, this mic on my screen, sorry I didn't show you right away, but this mic right here is the Videomic, or Videomic Compact, and this is great for on camera as well. It doesn't quite do the same job as far as shotgun. It doesn't have the same pattern, if you will, as the Videomic Pro, and I wouldn't use it anything outside of something really close to your face. So obviously in this, currently I've got this just inches above my head out of frame, and it works perfect for podcasting and YouTubing. But if you do want more of a shotgun feel, I recommend the Videomic Pro instead of the Video Micro Compact. So those are two on-camera mics that I really like to use, especially if I'm getting sound for an interview or something like that, or something more run and gun, if you will, for your church video stuff. But the next one, guys, is the ubiquitous. This one has been around for a couple decades, if not longer. I've used it for at least 2 decades. The Sennheiser Pro MKH416. This guy is the staple of video production all over the world. As far as TV production, movie production, I've used this on Hollywood sets with Hollywood actors, guys. I have had that experience in my past. I've got to work with Nick Stahl, who was in a Terminator movie. I got to work with Amy Smart, who was in Varsity Blues, if you've been on this planet long enough to know what that movie is about. And also I've worked with Rose McGowan. She's a hoot. She's dated Marilyn Manson, and that was interesting to talk about, as well as Robert Rodriguez, who is a very awesome director and does a lot of the Star Wars stuff these days, including The Mandalorian. So anyway, I digress. This microphone has been used all over the world on TV as well as movie sets, guys, and I highly recommend it if you can afford the $1,000. You know, one thing I did to pitch this to my church, we not only use it for video production, but it's also a great mic for using for your live stream. So if you want to get some good house sounds, I've seen churches use this as their you know, house sound for their in-ears or their house sound for the live stream, and it works great for both because it just captures a great sound from a distance away. So the next thing you'll want to get if you do get the MKH 416, I said that right? Yeah, 416 is both a boom pole and a boom pole holder. The best way to hold this, especially for interviews, I do this all the time for our weekly announcement videos, guys, is put this on a C-stand, this little guy here, and then we have a K-Tech boom pole. And I do recommend, if you get a boom pole, to get the side-loaded one. I think I can show it here, but if you see this back piece here, the XLR comes out the side rather than the very bottom. A lot of boom poles have the XLR coming out the bottom, and if you have it on the side, it's actually easier to set down if you're gonna boom it, if you're gonna actually hold it over your head. You know, you're gonna want to set that the butt of the boom pole on the ground, and that will hurt your XLR connection if it's not a side load. So just a little pro tip there for those of you who like to run and gun, these sorts of things. I would recommend checking your pole length. This one does 2 feet 7 inches all the way up to 9 foot 2 inches. My personal boom pole goes all the way to 16 feet because I do on occasion do some high-end video production where I can be nowhere near my talent, and I want to make sure I get a nice wide shot with my camera and I have that boom pole way over my set, just out of frame above my my talent. So you know, get something that works for you. I think I could probably get away with a 9 foot these days. I don't do a lot as much as used to TV and video production for you know, short films or movies and these sorts of things. But you know, and this one's at a great price at $266, guys, a K-Tech boom pole, and this one's aluminum. You can get them a little more expensive with carbon fiber, and I recommend getting carbon fiber if you're going to be holding it because it's going to be a lot lighter. But if you're using the holder with a C-stand, you know, you can get away spending a little bit less on your boom pole. I mean, a carbon fiber pole is probably going to cost you double what the aluminum was, and you can save that money and buy yourself a C-stand instead. And your C-stand is going to be more, you know, more useful long term. So if you're not doing audio on your video shoot, you can use your C-stand as a light stand. It's going to be super durable there. So the next thing up here is this is one of the best wireless systems. So if you have more than one person on camera at a time, or if you're doing something a little bit more run and gun, you know, outside, maybe running around, maybe your youth pastor wants to get on camera and do something crazy, I recommend getting a wireless lavalier system instead of trying to boom something, a fast moving target, right? So, and especially if you don't have somebody to help you boom that sort of, I mean, the boom pole is going to sound better, but the wireless lavalier system is going to be better if you're a one-man band sort of situation, or if you have 2 people on camera. I highly recommend. I have 2 of these personally. The G4 systems is the newest one from Sennheiser. They're pretty inexpensive. They used to be a little bit more expensive, like $750, $800. They've come down in price because they're getting some competition from Rode. I think Rode has some digital systems out there that are pretty great. These are rock solid, guys. They work really well, especially at relatively short distances. I've used them up to 100 feet away and had no problems, as long as you tune ahead of time and make sure you're not getting any interference. And then if you're really, really serious about video production, guys, and you really want the best quality sound, these Electrosonic systems are insane. So I used to own a couple pairs of these. Obviously the price is pretty prohibitive to most churches. Now I did work for a church that did own quite a few of these. They gave them out to all their pastors as their lav systems because they sound like a wire. They're hybrid. digital and analog systems, and so they sound like a wire, guys. That you can't get a better sounding wireless mic than these Electrosonics. The UCR411s in particular are fantastic, and then they come with the transmitter. The UC411 is actually the receiver, and then the transmitter is included in this kit. So $3,500. This has actually come down about $500 from where I purchased them. In fact, when I originally bought these systems, I believe I spent $4,000 just on the receiver, and this was about 10 years ago, guys. So these are coming down in price. Still rock solid, all metal construction, except for the antennas. Actually, there are metal antennas inside, and then they have a coating outside to make sure that they don't get scuffed up. But they you can get them in different frequency ranges, and that's one thing you want to check before you purchase. Check the most current regulations on wireless transmission, guys, because I mean most places like B&H and won't sell you something that's out of date, but I think it's the FCC that regulates. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. There's so many acronyms in the government, but I believe it's the FCC that regulates the frequencies that are usable from a consumer perspective without having to be licensed. And so the 537 to 563 range is what this block 21 right now for this is what they're advertising here. I'm pretty sure that's legal at this point. You can get different blocks, block 21 and block 20 from on this Electrosonic systems for B&H here, and then just check to make sure in your area that these are going to work. I mean, in busy cities, I highly recommend going with Electrosonics because they do have higher power than the Sennheisers, so that's something to think about as well. If you're a big church in a large city, just skip over the Sennheisers and go straight for the Electrosonics, guys. You won't regret it. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about the last microphone that's super ubiquitous in YouTube and podcasting. YouTube and podcasting has got to be the best way to get your message out to the world these days. And, you know, obviously we have Facebook, we have, you know, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But if you're as a church, you're recreating your message, right? Your message is probably your most important thing besides getting people in the doors and actually loving on them. So if you want to reach an audience that hasn't yet heard your message and might be interested in checking you out, you got to start a podcast or YouTube, not only from your weekend services, but from your lead pastor about topics that are going on in the world, what they're talking about, what they're thinking about, how to how to talk to people that don't believe the same thing you do, right? So just to get that message out there, or at least try to connect with some people outside the doors, it's the best way to broadcast your message to any audience, let alone your audience. And so this mic, the SM7B from Shure, is by far the most professional microphone for podcasting. You see these in professional recording studios and actually more often in radio studios. I mean, this is what Joe Rogan uses, and don't get me started on Joe Rogan. I think he's amazing, and if you canceled it, I'm sorry. I don't agree with you, but Joe Rogan uses this, and podcasters like him have been using this for years. In fact, a lot of my favorite YouTubers use this as well. I just personally don't like the look of a microphone on screen. That's me. I prefer to use, the Videomic Pro, but honestly, price-wise, they're not terribly far off. $270 for the Videomic Pro, or almost $400 for the Shure SM7B. But this one actually sounds better than the Videomic Pro. I just recommend you put it in front of your face, like down below or right off to the side, to get the best sound out of it. So with that, guys, that is my synopsis of the best microphones for video production in 2022. If you've got any suggestions from your personal use, guys, put them in the comments and link them. Feel free to add your own Amazon affiliate links if you'd like to in the comments. If you'd like to check out any of the microphones that I've recommended here, please check out my affiliate links in the description below. And again, if you want to support this channel, click my links before the next time you go to Amazon to purchase something. I'd really appreciate it because I love making these videos, and it motivates me, guys, to know that you're getting some value out of this content. So do me a favor, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to get more videos just like this in the future. And if you like coffee and video production, I know a lot of you people are coffee fiends just like myself. I recommend going over to friedrichscoffee.com, getting yourself a 12-ounce bag of roasted to order coffee, specialty coffee, guys, roasted in the Midwest. They're, the family that owns this place are great friends and go to our church, guys, and because they're a client of mine, I get a little kickback on every time somebody purchases on their website. So go to friedrichscoffee.com and you will get free shipping with code FREESHIPUSA if you are in the continental United States. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and God bless.